Unit 3 we have sequences and series. So first would like to learn, okay, sequences. Then we'll go for series. Okay, sequence. So see, you know me, you know by function. What is mean by function, anyone? What is mean by function, anyone? Yes, please. Anyone? What is mean by function? ఒకరు కూడా తెలియదా ఫంక్షన్ అంటే? ఫంక్షన్ అంటే తెలియని చదివేశారు పిఎస్సి అంతా. The set of all maps, okay, the set of all relations, okay, from set A to set B, from a set of all, okay, it is a mapping from set A to set B, okay, such that all the elements in A having unique image in B, okay, all the elements in A having, okay, having unique image in B, all the elements in A, all the elements in A having unique image, okay, unique image B, okay. So such kind of map is called as function. Such kind of map is called as function. Like f of x is log x, f of x is log x, f of x is e power x, f of x is sin x, okay, f of x is cos x. These are all many. Okay, చాలా అన్ని మనం చదివేటివన్నీ functions. Okay, so so what is the domain of function f of x equal to sin x? Domain, anyone? What is the domain of sin x? What is the domain of e power x? Anyone? What is the domain of sin x? Yes, please.
Minus pi to pi.
On a range, what is the range of sin x?
-1 less than or equals
Minus
to
one
x less
to
than or
one.
equals to 1.
బతికించారు అట్లీస్ట్ అదన్నా తెలిసింది. So the sin x is -1 to +1, right? -1 to +1, అవునా? So the domain is -infinity to +infinity. 0 గుండా పాస్ అవ్వాలమ్మా, సారీ, 0 గుండా పాస్. So -+1 to -1. At least somebody having, okay, fine. Okay, so the domain, it takes all the values. Not only -1 to +1, not minus pi to plus pi. It takes all the values, -infinity to +infinity. Okay, all the values. Okay, ఇది లేదమ్మా, 0 గుండా పాస్ అవ్వాలి. ఓకేనా? So similarly, what is e power x? What is e power x domain? Domain ఏంటి?
R, sir.
Yeah, R, right? R. Okay na? So it will goes like this. It will goes like this. Okay. So the domain is R. What is range? Range ఏమవుతుంది?
0 to plus infinity.
Yeah, range is 0 to +infinity. Okay. Okay, fine. Like that we have studied in our previous. Okay. Now the thing is, I'm taking some functions such that now I'm going to take some functions such that my domain is always natural numbers. I'm going to take some functions such that the domain is always natural numbers and range is always real numbers. The range is always real, all. Okay, the range is real. Okay, so means that the set of all functions from natural numbers to real numbers, the set of all functions from, okay, so So set of all functions from natural numbers to real numbers. Okay, that we call it as sequence. Okay, that we call it as a sequence. Okay, the set of all functions. Okay, the set of all functions. Okay, or the function which is having the domain as natural number and range as real number. Ranges. Okay, or the set of all functions from natural numbers to real numbers. That kind of functions are called as sequence. Adamotunda. Sequence means that so the function from natural numbers to real numbers. The function from natural numbers to real numbers. Okay. So this will denoted by generally. Okay. For example, s of x is x. S of x is x. ఏదైనా తీసుకోవచ్చు. ఇప్పుడు s of x sin x కూడా తీసుకోవచ్చు. ఓకే, s of x is e power x కూడా తీసుకోవచ్చు. ఓకే, e power x కూడా తీసుకోవచ్చు. ఏదైనా తీసుకోవచ్చు. ఇవి కూడా తీసుకోవచ్చు. బట్ I would like to consider domain as I would like to call this as a sequence. I would like to call this as a sequence. Okay, so this is a sequence means that okay, it takes the domain having natural number. So if I call that sin x as a sequence, if I call as sequence as a sin x as a sequence, okay, sin x as a sequence, okay, so then the domain is nothing but natural number. The domain is nothing but natural number. అర్థమవుతుందా? ఓకే, the domain is nothing but natural number. Natural numbers అంటే తెలుసు కదా మీకు. The set of values from 1 to and so on, right? Infinity, up to infinity. Okay, so ఒక ఫంక్షన్ మనం సీక్వెన్స్ అని పిలిచామంటే లేదా సీక్వెన్స్ అని అన్నామంటే లేదా డిఫాల్ట్ it will take domain as a natural number. That always we call it as sequence. Okay, that always we call it as sequence. Okay, so this will denoted by f or s, whatever. This will denoted by f or s. Okay, or generally the sequence are denoted by with their nth uh, nth term. Okay, generally, so okay, the generally suppose I will take as s of x as x, then domain will be 1, 2, 3 and so on. The domain will be 1, 2, 3 and so on, right? The range will be whatever. Okay, range is r. It may be sometimes r, it may be sometimes n, but it will take any value. We don't bother of range. Okay, it maybe takes any value. Okay, so our main aim is to target our domain is always a natural number. Our domain is always a natural number. That's our main aim. Okay, so generally suppose s of x is x, I call as a sequence. Then it means that it will take the values of 1, 2, the domain having take the values of 1, 2 and so on. Okay, so in case of first term, it will denoted by a1, so that will be 1. Okay, it will second term, it will be denoted by a2. Okay, so 2, and the third term it will be denoted by 3. Okay, and so on. Nth term it will be denoted by an. Okay, that will be n here. Okay, so generally the sequence are denoted by, okay, like with nth number or nth this one. Okay, generally sequence are denoted by with this. Okay, an.
PPT not visible, sir.
The PPT notes.
How out, I don't know why. Okay, మా ఇంటర్నెట్ రావట్లేదు అసలు. ఫోన్ ద్వారా కనెక్ట్ చేసిన రావట్లేదు. Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
So Adamainda, so the sequence means that the set of all functions having domain as natural number. So that's the main point. Okay, that's the main point. So generally, the sequence are denoted by with their nth term. So generally, the sequence are denoted by nth term. Okay. Generally, the sequence are denoted by or written by with nth term. Okay, nth term an. Okay, or okay an ఇలా అయినా రాయొచ్చు ఇలా అయినా రాయొచ్చు లేదా an equal to 1 to infinity అని క్లియర్ గా కూడా రాయొచ్చు. So likewise we can denote it. Okay, the sequence are denoted by like these three manners. Okay, these three manners. Okay, the sequence are denoted by with their nth term. Okay na, see, okay na, see, suppose an equal to n, already I told you that. So it means that it having 1 2 3 and so on, n and so on. Okay na, suppose my an is minus n, suppose my an is minus n. Okay, then what is the sequence having? What is the sequence having? -1, -2, -3 and so on, -n and so on. అవునా కదా, అవునా కదా, ఓకేనా, right? If my an is okay 1 by n, if my an is 1 by n, okay, so then this will be 1 by 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 3 and so on, 1 by n and so on. So this is my sequence. This is my sequence. This is my sequence. Adotna. So this will be denoted by like this, or like this, or like this, like this. Okay, n equal to 1 to infinity. These three ways. Okay, okay. Adamotna. Suppose my sequence is like this, like this. -1 whole power n. -1 whole power n. So can you tell what is the domain of this? Domain is sequence, right? The domain is natural numbers. So can you tell what is the range of this? Anyone? What is the range of -1 whole power n? Anyone?
Sir, PPT not visible.
What is the range of -1 whole power n? Anyone? What is the
0
range of minus?
to infinity.
So -1 whole power n in case of domain ఏంటి మనకు n equal to 1 to infinity, and that all natural numbers. Suppose my n is 1, what it will be? Minus. Suppose my n is 2, what it will be? Suppose my n is 3. ఏమవుతుందమ్మా?
-1 sir.
చెప్పండి, ఒకరన్నా చెప్తే కదా. రిప్లై ఇచ్చేది ఒకరో ఇద్దరు, వాళ్ళు కూడా ఇకపోతే ఏమైపోవాలి? n equal to 4, 1, n equal to 5, -1. అవునా? So this will be -1, 1. ఓకేనా? -1, ఓకేనా? These are all examples అని పెట్టి రాసుకున్నాను. ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్, సీక్వెన్స్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్. ఓకేనా? 1 2 3 4. ఓకేనా? సో 5 n into -1 whole power n. n into -1 whole power n. ఓకేనా? నెక్స్ట్ 1 plus -1 whole power n. ఓకేనా? So what is the range of this? Domain is, so domain you don't bother అండి. Sequence అని చెప్పారంటే the domain is always natural numbers. So what is the range of this? Anyone?
0 under 2.
Yeah, very good. 0 and 2. Very good. Some of the times constant sequence also be there, like 1 only, 1. What is the range of this?
One, sir.
Yeah, 1. Okay na? This is called constant sequence. Okay, so likewise many we can write likewise, like this is another example. 1 plus minus 1 whole power n by n. 1 minus 1 whole power n by n. Okay na? Okay na? So some of the times you can write like this. an is like this. Okay na? 2 for if n is even, and n for if n is odd, ఓకేనా? మన ఇష్టం ఏదైనా రాసుకోవచ్చు, ఇవన్నీ ఫంక్షన్సే. సో ఫంక్షన్ లో డొమైన్ అనేది న్యాచురల్ నెంబర్ కు ఉన్నవన్నీ కూడా ఓకేనా, సీక్వెన్స్ అవుతాయి. ఓకేనా, ఫంక్షన్ లో న్యాచురల్ నెంబర్ ఉన్నవన్నీ కూడా సీక్వెన్స్ అవుతాయి. ఓకేనా, ఓకేనా. So these are all sequences. Okay. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1 plus 1 by n whole power n. 1 plus 1 by n whole power n. Okay na? ఓకేనా, అన్ని రాసుకోండి. అని మళ్ళీ వీటికి వేరే ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ కూడా చెప్పాలి. అన్ని రాసుకోండి అమ్మ జాగ్రత్త. ఓకేనా, జాగ్రత్త రాసుకోండి అన్ని. మళ్ళీ వీటికి వేరే ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ కూడా చెప్తాను. ఓకేనా, రాసుకున్నారా? ఎస్ ప్లీజ్. అయిపోయిందా?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Next, finite sequence. Finite sequence. Okay. So a sequence having domain as a finite set. A sequence having domain as a finite set. Generally, sequence అంటే మనకు natural numbers to real numbers, right? So ఇక్కడ నేను డొమైన్ ఏం చేస్తానంటే, so let s equal to some finite set. నేను మొత్తం n అంతా తీసుకోకుండా I'm going to take s equal to like 1 to 10. Okay, ఇలా finite గా define చేయొచ్చు. Okay, I can take some finite. Okay, 1 to 10. Okay, so then the function f, the function f s2r. Okay, so s2r is is a finite sequence. But generally we cannot consider this as a sequence. Generally, but it is not considered as a sequence. It is not considered as a sequence. So already మీకు చెప్పాను sequence అంటే ఏంటి. So domain it takes whole natural number. ఓకే, మొత్తం న్యాచురల్ నెంబర్స్ అంతా తీసుకోవాలి. ఓకేనా, సో అలా ఉంటే దాన్ని మనం ఓకే సీక్వెన్స్ అంటాం. సో ఇట్స్ లైక్ ఏ జస్ట్ డెఫినిషన్, బట్ వీ మే నాట్ కన్సిడర్ దిస్ యాజ్ ఎ సీక్వెన్స్. నెక్స్ట్, రేంజ్ ఆఫ్ ఏ సీక్వెన్స్. let S is any sequence which is defining from N to R, okay? Then the range of the range set, then the range set of a map, the range set of S, of the sequence S, okay? Of the sequence S is called as the range set. The range set of the sequence S is called range of a sequence. Called range of a the range set, okay, of that sequence. మనం ఆల్రెడీ పైన రాసాం range set of this, range set of this, range set of this, range set of this, okay? So అర్థమవుతుందా? The range set of these are all, okay, is set of range, the range set of, okay, that sequence is called as range of a sequence. Range of a sequence, okay? Okay. Next one is bounded sequence. So please listen, this is very important. Bounded sequence, okay? So let a sequence, okay, let S be any sequence. Okay, and the sequence, okay, let S be the any sequence, then there exists, okay, small m and capital M. Then there exists small m and capital M in R such that small m less than or equal to an less than or equal to capital M for all n is in n. For all n is in n, okay, okay, okay. Then the sequence is called as, then the sequence is called as bounded sequence. Then the sequence is called as bounded sequence, okay? Means that for every value of domain, okay, so the an should be always between two values. The an, the nth term is always between two values, okay? The nth term is always between two values, okay, of any sequence an, okay, of any sequence, okay? So such kind of capital M and small m can exist. Such kind of capital M and small m can exist for every n, okay, okay. So such kind of sequence is called as bounded sequence, okay? Such kind of sequence is called as bounded sequence, okay, okay. So for example, an equal to n we can take, for n equal to n we can take, for n equal to 1 it will be 1, and n equal to 2 it will be 2, for n equal to 3 it will be 3, and for n equal to infinity it will be infinity. For n equal to infinity it will be infinity, okay? So is it bounded? Is it bounded? No, right? No. Lower bound means a small value we can know, but greatest value we don't know, right? The greatest value we don't know, right? So it is not bounded. అక్కడ రాసుకోండి, not bounded. సో లేదంటే ఇక్కడ రాసుకోండి, ఇక్కడ 1 అని పెట్టి 1 not bounded. Second one bounded అవుతుందా కాదా? Anyone? Second one minus n
Not bounded.
not bounded. So ఇక్కడ గ్రేటెస్ట్ వాల్యూ ఉంటుంది, బట్ లోయెస్ట్ వాల్యూ we don't know, right? ఇక్కడ గ్రేటెస్ట్ వాల్యూ ఉంటుంది, greatest value is -1, greatest value is -1, but lowest value we don't know. So not bounded. సో ఇక్కడ 2 అని పెట్టి నాట్ బౌండెడ్ అని రాసుకోండి, ఓకేనా? లేదా ఇక్కడే రాసుకుంటారన్నా రాసుకోండి సైడ్ నాట్ బౌండెడ్. బట్ మీ కాన్సెప్ట్ అర్థం కావాలి, కాన్సెప్ట్, ఎందుకంటే ఇది ఫ్యూచర్ లో మళ్ళీ వాడతాం మనం, ఓకే? సో దిస్ ఇస్ 1/n, ఇస్ ఇట్ బౌండెడ్?
Not bounded.
Not
Sir.
bounded.
And why?
Lowest value is 1, sir, but the greatest value we don't know. Lowest value we don't
Any-
know, sir.
Huh? As n tends to infinity, 1 by n, what happens? As n tends to infinity, 1 by n, what happens?
0, sir.
0, sir.
0, right? 0 means, right? Lowest value, right? Very important. It is very important.
Bounded.
Lowest value, right? Lowest value 0. Lowest is 0. Greatest is 1. Greatest is 1. It is bounded. It is bounded. Keep in mind that it is bounded. And this is bounded, it. This is also bounded. Idi. Then range set ఏమవుతుంది? Range set ఏమవుతుంది? n equal to 1 అయితే -1, 2 అయితే +2, 3 అయితే -3, +4, -5, +6, and so on. Do you know what is lowest? What is greatest? We don't know.
No, sir. Not bounded.
Not.
Sir.
Seventh one, bounded or not?
Bounded, sir. Bounded, sir.
Very good. Very good. Lowest value 1, greatest value 1 అమ్మ. Lowest value 1, greatest value కూడా 1. Okay na? Now this is bounded or not? This is bounded or not? ఇది కూడా అంతే. As n tends to infinity, this will be 0. 1 plus 0 is 1. Okay na? ఇది కూడా bounded. ఇది not bounded. As n tends to infinity, this is infinity, right? As n tends to infinity, this is infinity, right? Not bounded. This is not bounded. ఇది
Bounded, sir.
yeah.
Bounded, sir.
Why? Why? Can you tell why?
1 by n will be 0.
1 by power n కూడా ఉందమ్మా. మరి అప్పుడు ఇన్ఫినిటీ అవ్వాలి కదా. What is the limit of this? X tends to infinity. A by x whole power x is e power a. లేదా ఇలాగే రాస్తే లిమిట్ n tends to infinity 1 plus a by n whole power n is e power a. So what is highest value here?
1, sir.
ఈ అవుతుందమ్మా. ఈ ఇక్కడ 1 ఉంది కదా ఏ ప్లేస్ లో మనకు. అర్థమవుతుందా? As n tends to infinity, this will be e. Okay. Okay na? What about this? What about this? 13th bounded or not? 13th bounded or not? ఇక్కడ ఏం చెప్పాను? -1 whole power n by n ఏం చెప్పాను? As n tends to infinity -1. 0 అయింది కదా, అట్లా ఇక్కడ కూడా 0 అవుతుంది. ఓకేనా? సో ఇట్ ఈస్ ఆల్సో బౌండెడ్. అర్థమవుతుందా? లిమిట్ n tends to infinity 1 by n ఏమవుతుందమ్మా? 0 కదా. 1 by n square ఏమవుతుంది? 1 by n cube ఏమవుతుంది? n ఫ్యాక్టోరియల్ ఉన్నా కూడా జీరోనే అవుతుంది. ఓకేనా? లేదంటే దీనికి మళ్ళీ లాగ్ తీసుకొని అలా చేసినా వస్తుంది. మీరు అలా అయినా చేయొచ్చు. ఓకేనా? అలా అయినా చేయండి, ఇలా అయినా చేయండి. ఓకే, నో ప్రాబ్లం. అంటే మీకు జస్ట్ కాన్సెప్ట్ అర్థమైతే చాలు. లిమిట్ ఎలా కనుక్కోవాలన్నది ఆల్రెడీ మీరు చేశారు. ఓకే, ఫైన్. So okay, that's the way we can define a sequence as bounded or not bounded. That's the way we can define the sequence as bounded or not bounded. Okay. So ఇక్కడ lowest value ని infimum అంటారమ్మా. The lowest value, okay. The lowest value of a sequence for the sequence, okay. Okay, దాన్ని మళ్ళీ చెప్తానండి. ఓకే సార్, రాసుకోండి. The lowest value we called as infimum, okay. Infimum, and the greatest value is called as supreme. Okay, it is called as supreme. So small m, capital M. Small m nemo, okay na? Small m name antaru? Infimum, okay. And capital M name supremum antaru. Supremum, okay. Supremum. Okay na? Next, limit of the okay, subsequence. Okay, fine. Subsequence. సో చూడండి, మళ్ళీ రాసుకొని చూడండి. సో మనకు జనరల్ సీక్వెన్స్ ని ఏఎన్ తో డినోట్ చేస్తారని చెప్పాం, అవునా? ఏఎన్ తో డినోట్ చేస్తారు. ఓకేనా? లైక్ దిస్ ఆర్ లైక్ దిస్, ఓకేనా? వాట్ ఎవర్, ఓకేనా? సో దిస్ విల్ బి, ఫస్ట్ టర్మ్ విల్ బి A1, సెకండ్ టర్మ్ విల్ బి A2, థర్డ్ టర్మ్ విల్ బి A3 అండ్ సో ఆన్. nth టర్మ్ విల్ బి AN అండ్ సో ఆన్, అవునా? nth టర్మ్ విల్ బి AN, ఓకే. nth టర్మ్ విల్ బి AN. Okay, this is my sequence. Okay. So the subsequence means that a sequence which is chosen from the given sequence, okay, from the original sequence in the same order, okay. The sequence, okay, which is chosen from the given sequence, okay, from the given sequence in the same order, so you keep in mind that in the same order, okay, the same order, okay. So that means that, okay. So suppose AN is like this, then A1, A2, A3 and so on, A10 is a subsequence, okay, but A1, A3, A2, A4, A6, A5 and so on, A10 is not a subsequence, okay, because of here order is interchanged, okay na? Order is interchanged. Also A1, A2 is again repeated, A3, A4 is repeated like this. It's also not a subsequence, not a subsequence. It's not a subsequence, okay. So you have to choose a sequence from the given sequence in the same order, okay. Is called subsequence, okay na? is called the subsequence. Okay, na? So example, an number an plus n if n is even, and minus n if n is odd. Okay, so my n has n equal to even is a subsequence. N if n equal to odd is a subsequence. N equal to odd is a subsequence. Okay, na? Okay, na? So likewise, Adamotna. Suppose my an is like this, an is n. Okay, now 1, 2, 3, and so on up to 100. Is a subsequence. So suppose 1, 2, 4, 3 is a subsequence. Is a subsequence.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Is a subsequence. This is a subsequence.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
That's what. Okay. So that is the main definition of subsequence. Okay. Okay. Now. Next, limit point of a sequence. Next, చూడమ్మా. Limit point of a sequence. Limit points. It's not a limit, limit points. Limit points of a sequence. So let an is any sequence. Let an is any sequence. Okay. Of real numbers. And L is any real number. And L is any real number. Okay. Now the L is called as limit point of a sequence. L is called as limit point of a sequence. Please listen. Limit point of a sequence. Okay. If every neighborhood of L having infinite number of terms of the sequence. Having infinite number of terms of the sequence. Having infinite number of terms of the sequence. Okay, means that okay. So in the neighborhood of L means that L minus epsilon to L plus epsilon. Okay, having infinite number of terms. Okay, so in this neighborhood having infinite number of terms. Okay, having so an belongs to L minus epsilon, comma L plus epsilon, having infinite values for any for any epsilon greater than 0. For any epsilon greater than 0. Okay. For any epsilon value of, for any epsilon, okay. Okay. For example, అమ్మ చూడండి. సో neighborhood అంటే తెలుసు కదా, neighborhood అంటే ఏంటంటే, సో ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ 2 యొక్క neighborhood అంటే, సో దిస్ ఇస్ 0, దిస్ ఇస్ 1, దిస్ ఇస్ 2. సో 2 యొక్క neighborhood అని ఎప్పుడు అంటామంటే, సో 2 నుంచి కొంచెం లెఫ్ట్ సైడ్, 2 నుంచి కొంచెం రైట్ సైడ్ తీసుకున్నాం అనుకో, an epsilon range, epsilon may be 0.1, epsilon may be 0.1, means that 2 minus epsilon to 2 plus epsilon, means that 1.9 to 2.1. Okay, it's called neighborhood of 2. This is called NBD of 2, neighborhood of 2. Okay, so in this neighborhood, okay, having infinite number of sequence values, in this neighborhood infinite number of our sequence values, so that may call it as okay, limit point of the sequence. For example, my an is 1 by n. My an is 1 by n. I would like to take an as 1 by n. Okay, now I would like to take as an as 1 by n. So what happens here in case of 1 by n? In case of 1 by n, yes. So in case of this 1 by n, what happened? So 0 is the limit point. 0 is the limit point. Okay, limit point. అవునా కదా? అవునా కదమ్మా? ఎందుకని? In the neighborhood of 0, what happens to us? 0 neighborhood లో ఏమవుతాయి? There are infinite number of values, like 1 by 1 lakh, okay, 1 by 1 10 lakhs, 1 by 1 crore. Okay, ఇవన్నీ కూడా ఎక్కడ ఉంటాయి? 0 దగ్గరగానే ఉంటాయి. అవునా కదా? వెరీ నియరర్ టు 0. అవునా కదా? So these are all values. These are all n equal to, my n equal to 1 by 1 lakh, 1 by 10 lakhs, or 1 by 1 crore. So 1 crore తీసుకున్నాను అనుకో, suppose 1 crore తీసుకున్నాను అనుకో, 1 by 1 crore of 1, 1 by 1 crore of 2, 1 by 1 crore of 3, ఇవన్నీ ఎక్కడ ఉంటాయమ్మా? 0 దగ్గర ఉంటాయా లేదా? In the neighborhood of 0 means that minus 0.9 to 0.1 ఈ మధ్యలోనే ఉంటాయా లేదా? ఓకే, ఇవన్నీ వాల్యూస్ అన్ని కూడా between these, right? Between these, some epsilon of 0.1, some epsilon of 0.1. Okay na? So that's why for n equal to, for an equal to 1 by n, 0 is the limit point. Limit point is 0. Limit point is 0. Okay na? In case of this, okay, is 0. Okay. Okay. సో అలాగే చూడండి. సో in case of an, minus 1 whole power n, this is very important. 1 plus 1 by n. This is minus 1 whole power n, 1 plus 1 by n. Okay na? So if n is even, okay na? Limit n tends to infinity, minus 1 whole power n, 1 plus 1 by n. ఏమవుతుందమ్మా? Anyone? Limit n tends to infinity, minus 1 whole power n, 1 plus 1 by n. So n is even, and that is also approaches to infinity, like 1 by 1 crore, like 1 by 1 crore. ఏమవుతుంది? Minus 1 whole power even is plus 1. This is as n tends to infinity, right? 1 by 1 plus infinity is 0. This is plus. N is odd. If n is odd, minus 1 whole power n, 1 plus 1 by n, ఏమవుతుందమ్మా? Anyone? If n is odd,
Minus 1
whole
into
power
1
n.
plus 0.
Yeah, that nothing but minus 1, right? That nothing but minus 1. Avuna? So means that 1 and minus 1 are limit points. Are limit points. ఓకేనా? అలాగే చూడమ్మా, my an is c, then c is the limit point. C is the limit point. ఓకేనా? If my an is చూడండి, this one is important. minus 1 whole power n, okay? minus 1 whole power n. What happens of this? minus 1, 1, minus 1, 1, minus 1, 1, and so on. So what happens means that minus 1 and 1 are limit points. అవునా కదా? minus 1 and 1 are limit points. అవునా కదా? 1 plus minus 1 whole power n. What are the limit points? Anyone?
0, 2.
0, 2.
0, comma 2. Okay, na? 0, comma 2. Yes. So I hope you are all getting what is meant by limit point. Okay. Now this is very important note. Chundi, please. If L is a limit point of any sequence, sorry, if L is a limit point of the range, L is any limit point of the range. Okay. If L is any limit point of the range, okay. Then L is limit point of sequence. L is limit point of range, okay, an. Then L is limit point of sequence an, but not conversely. Okay, but not conversely. So ante chundi, so range యొక్క లిమిట్ పాయింట్ సీక్వెన్స్ యొక్క లిమిట్ పాయింట్ కి సేమ్ అవుతుంది, బట్ సీక్వెన్స్ యొక్క లిమిట్ పాయింట్ రేంజ్ యొక్క లిమిట్ పాయింట్స్ కి ఈక్వల్ అవ్వాల్సిన పని లేదు. దట్స్ వాట్ ఈస్ సేయింగ్. ఇప్పుడు నేను an ని ఇలా తీసుకున్నాను, 1 plus minus 1 whole power n. ఓకేనా? 1 plus minus 1 whole power n. ఓకేనా? But so what is the range of this? What is the range set of this?
0,
2.
What is the range set is 0, 2. Okay. So what is the limit points of this set? 0, 2.
0,
Okay. What is the range? What is the limit points of this range set? Limit points are. What is the limit points of this? So చూడండి ఇక్కడ there are only finite 0, 2. There are only finite. In this neighborhood, 2 యొక్క neighborhood లో there is no other point, right? 2 యొక్క neighborhood లో there is no other point. Means that 2 is not a limit point as well as 0 is not a limit point. Okay. 2 యొక్క neighborhood లో infinite number of values ఉంటే అప్పుడు మనం ఏం చెప్తాం? 2 యొక్క లిమిట్ పాయింట్ 2 ని లిమిట్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ సెట్ అంటాం. ఓకే. 2 యొక్క neighborhood లో ఇన్ఫైనైట్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ వాల్యూస్ ఉంటే అప్పుడు 2 మనం neighborhood అని అంటాం. అవునా? సారీ, 2 ని లిమిట్ పాయింట్ అంటాం. ఇక 2 యొక్క neighborhood లో ఏ పాయింట్ లేవు కదా. There is no point in the neighborhood of 2. So there is no limit points here. No limit points here. Okay. No limit points of range set. No limit points of range set. Okay. Na? Similarly, an equal to -1 whole power n. ఇక్కడ లిమిట్ పాయింట్స్ ఏమో 1 - 1. ఇక్కడ రేంజ్ సెట్ ఏమో 1 - 1. No limit points. No limit points. If my an is C, what is the limit point? C. What is the range set?
-1.
C, come on. C. What is the limit? What is the limit point? What is the limit point
No limit.
for the range set? Limit point I am asking. Range set is C. Range set is C. What is the limit point of
No
this? No limit point. No limit. So only infinite number of values ఉంటేనే అప్పుడు మనం లిమిట్ పాయింట్ అంటాం. బట్ చూడండి an is 1/n తీసుకున్నాం. What is the limit point?
0, sir.
So what is the range set here? What is the range set? What is the range set?
One comma 0.
1/2 and so on, right? 1/2, 1/3 and so on. This is the range set. Okay na? So దీని యొక్క లిమిట్ పాయింట్ ఏమవుతుంది? 0 అవుతుంది, అవునా కదా? ఇక్కడ మీరు చూసారంటే 0 0 0 0 0 will come 0 for many times. అవునా కదా?
Yes, sir.
ఇన్ఫైనైట్ దగ్గరకున్న ప్రతి వాల్యూకి అది 0 అవుతుంది, అవునా కదా? ఇన్ఫైనైట్ దగ్గరకున్న ప్రతి వాల్యూకి అది 0 అవుతుంది, అవునా కదా? Means that 0 comes in many times. 0 comes in infinite times. So having limit point 0. Limit point as 0. Okay na? అర్థమవుతుందా? ఇక్కడ కొంచెం లాజికల్ గా ఆలోచించాలి. జాగ్రత్తగా మీరు అర్థం చేసుకుంటే తర్వాత క్లాస్ అనేది ఈజీ అవుతాయి. అర్థమైందా?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So that is about limit point. So that is about limit point. Next we go for limit of a sequence. లిమిట్ వేరు, లిమిట్ పాయింట్ వేరు అండి. ఓకేనా? లిమిట్ వేరు, లిమిట్ పాయింట్ వేరు. ఓకేనా? సో లిమిట్ ఆఫ్ ఏ సీక్వెన్స్. నెక్స్ట్ వన్ we have. Let a and b any sequence. Let a and b any sequence. Let a and b any sequence. And L is in R. L is in R. R real number. Okay, L is in R. We say that L is a limit point of an. Limit point of an. Okay. If for any epsilon greater than 0, if for any epsilon greater than 0, there exists m is in n. M is in n such that mod an minus L less than epsilon for all n greater than or equal to m. For all n greater than or equal to m. Okay. So this we can write it as r limit n tends to infinity as or an tends to be L as n tends to infinity. An tends to be L as n tends to be infinity, or limit n tends to infinity, limit n tends to infinity an equal to L. Limit n tends to infinity an equal to L. Okay. Al equal to L. Okay. Okay. There are two ways we can find this. Okay, tomorrow we'll discuss how to find the limit of a sequence. Tomorrow we'll discuss how to find the limit of a sequence. Okay. Yeah, that's
sir.
about today's class. Any doubts, please? Any doubts, please, you can ask. Tomorrow we'll discuss how to find the limit of a sequence.